Ed and I supposed to have got married. I got, you know, paid money for everything, the place, everything. So we went down to he was hungry. I done spent all this money for this dress and you were hungry, so he told me, well, I ain't got no money. I ain't finna get married or do nothing now.
Did you do that?
No. Yes.
Woman had the dress on and everything, and your excuse for not marrying her is you were hungry.
She's the judge who gives rules on the law and life. She's intense with common sense. She's Judge Lynn Toller on Divorce Court, where real couples deal with real life. Edward and Jeanette have been together for 21 years and have a daughter together. While they truly love each other, trust and fidelity have always been big issues in their relationship.
Me and my daughter was riding around. We see Eddie at the convenience store, right? All just hugged up, kissing a woman.
There are times I've laid in the bed waiting on Jeanette to make love. She'll say, Eddie, give me a few minutes, and she'll walk out. Jeanette be in there mopping the floor and raking the yard and stuff like that.
They have tried to get married before, but never have made it to the altar. Will Judge Lynn advise these two finally to say I do after 21 years? Today on Divorce Court Before Your Vows.
All rise! Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Jeanette Chanel and Edward Webb. Mr. Webb, you look very dapper, and I know that is a complete outfit. However, the hat must go. Right. Thank you very much, sir. I enjoyed the moment, though. It was pleasurable. Ms. Chanel and Mr. Webb, you two have been together for, get this, Joe, 21 years.
Yes.
You have a 17-year-old daughter together, but for some reason you can't live in the same house more than 3 days without having a major meltdown. You have got your marriage license that you have brought to me,
right,
which you have given me permission to either return to you or tear up, given my findings with respect to the nature of your union. You have also filled out a before your vows test. And Ms. Chanel, you've said one of the deepest things I've ever read in one of these compatibility tests since I've been doing them, and we will get to that momentarily.
Yes, ma'am.
But before we do, I'm going to find out a little bit about your relationship, why you love each other, but why after 21 years you're still together but can't get married. And you want to get married, because obviously the dress is here. So you ready to walk down the aisle, you just trying to get him to go with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Chanel, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me about your relationship, what's good about it, and what the problems are?
Well, I met Eddie, he's been a long time ago, but however, Eddie and I have been together, like I say, 21 years. However, Eddie is good when Eddie is good, but when he's bad, he's bad. With the cheating, I can't deal with it.
I will get to you, Mr. Webb.
Eddie, like for an example, one night I couldn't rest. So I'm driving my car and I happen to look around. This van is in the alley this time of night. So I parked my car. I'm inspecting now, you know what I'm saying? I'm inspecting gadgets. So I'm sitting, I waited there for like 2 or 3 hours. I see Ed and this woman. Wow, I say, what is he trying to do here? So I confronted Eddie. Eddie told me, get over it. Get over it? Who does that? Yeah. Next time, for another example, Your Honor, me and my daughter was riding around. We see Eddie at the convenience store, right? All just hugged up, kissing a woman.
Your Honor, that's not true.
Mr. Let me ask you this. The cheating that you catch him doing.
Yes, ma'am.
And it appears that you actually do see it.
Yes.
Has it been going on throughout the 21-year relationship, or was this something that happened in the beginning? Something
it would happen in the beginning, the middle, and the latter.
Oh,
okay.
No, that's not true.
Mr. Webb, why don't you respond to that?
Your Honor, basically, it's true that we weren't committed.
We weren't committed.
We weren't committed in our early relationship, in the early days of our relationship.
Right.
But as time went on, I have been a person of integrity. So, I mean, some of the things that she's possibly mentioning now were done in the past, way like 10, 20 years ago.
Mr. Webb, when was the last time that you had an inappropriate, intimate relationship with a woman other than Ms. Chanel?
About 20 years, about 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Yes.
So for the last 15 years, you've been honest and faithful. There's no confusion. There's no. There's no.
Well, no.
Okay, wait a minute. Hang on. He's going to clarify for me. Go ahead,
because I beg to differ.
Yeah, basically, she has never caught me doing anything. I mean, all she does is accuses me of different things.
The fact that she hasn't caught you is very different from the fact that you haven't done it.
Right.
Which one is it? She hasn't caught you, or you haven't done it?
I haven't done it. I've been innocent. I'm a person of integrity. I feel that.
Having said that, I think that it leads me to my next question, which I found interesting in your papers, was that you've never really been sexually satisfied by Mr. Webb.
No. It's like, come on. It's like wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Like, come on,
it's too quick.
Too quick, yeah.
That's it. That's what we say. It's too quick.
Too quick. Come on, we women, we need to be caressed. We need time.
No, Your Honor, that's not.
Mr. Webb, you may respond, sir.
Jeanette is a type of person like, get it and hair up and get finished and go. And she's just not satisfied. I mean, there are times I've laid in the bed waiting on Jeanette to make love. She'll say, Eddie, give me a few minutes. And she'll walk out, and all of a sudden, I'm waiting in the bed about an hour or two. Jeanette hadn't gotten back yet. Jeanette being there mopping the floor and raking the yard and stuff like that.
I just give you time to build up.
When Divorce Court Before Your Vows continues, how will Jeanette react when Edward places all the blame for their troubled relationship on her?
My daughter's pregnant right now because of what Jeanette has done.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com and become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce Court Before Your Vows is back with the case of Jeanette Chanel, who is questioning whether or not to marry her boyfriend of 21 years because she says he's a cheater. But does Jeanette have even more serious issues with Edward?
I asked you, is there something your intended should probably know before you marry them that they don't know about? And do you recall your answer?
No, ma'am.
I do. Go back to the financial aspect, Ms. Chanel. What's happening in that arena?
Eddie won't want to give me $10, you know, like a bill is due. Eddie talk about he ain't got no money, he ain't got but $10.
Let me say that anything that happens to Jeanette, I have taken care of. When a car breaks down, she runs to Eddie.
Because you took him to
when the bills are late.
Hang on, Ms. Chanel.
When the bills are late, she runs to Eddie. You know what I mean? Everything, every little situation occurs. I've been with Jeanette for 20 years, and I haven't seen her with over $50 in her pocket. She's always broke. So I'm always taking care of everything that she's involved with. I do all I can.
So you feel she has no reason to claim that you are not a good provider?
That would be an unfair statement to say that I haven't put all I had. That's why I'm broke today almost.
Well, why do you, so far you haven't given me any specific information would make me believe that he's not a good, because you don't live in the same house. So what is it you owe, you believe he owes you that he hasn't paid?
He owes me a lot. For emotional distress, he owes me. Listen, Judge, when we have bills, right? Okay, granted, I live alone. Granted, I'm taking care of children. Granted that, okay, if I need help on a little water bill, or if I need help
to buy... Let me ask you this. Does he pay child support for your daughter?
That's not true. I have, from day one, from my daughter and all her daughters, I have raised her 2 other daughters from previous relationship, and also my daughter. And anything that they needed, I have been able to provide and stuff like that. I also have, basically, I've done everything I possibly can to help Jeanette financially.
Well, let me ask you this. With respect to the daughter that you have in common, have you two both been good parents? Do you have any complaints with respect to the manner in which you have done that together, even though you've been separate for 21 years?
I'll say this here. My daughter's pregnant right now because of what Jeanette has done as far as condoning the relationship that I asked her not to let my daughter involve herself in.
Don't even blame
Miss
me.
Chanel, he seems to blame you for your daughter's pregnancy. Why don't you, hang on, why don't you tell me how you see the situation?
Okay, my daughter is a straight A student, honor roll student. She's a beautiful young girl. Okay, here it is, she's 17 years old. This is when I found out later on they hadn't been seeing each other.
Let me say this to you, Mr. Webb. If you're there every day, all the time, with the support, this is what a man does. This is all the hoops a man has to jump through to get to you. If you raise that bar high, it helps. You do the best you can, but you cannot lay that blame on her.
I'm not necessarily
laying the blame on her. To the extent that you weren't there, that lies with you as well. And then sometimes kids just do whatever.
Right, they do whatever. They're gonna do whatever.
When Divorce Court Before Your Vows continues, what will Jeanette have to say for herself?
I have a hatred towards him for many years. What did you mean by that?
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter @DivorceCourt. Divorce Court Before Your Vows returns with the case of Edward Webb, who claims he financially supports his girlfriend of 21 years, even though she refutes his claim. But should this couple get married after 21 years together?
Tell me about the wedding dress.
Ed and I supposed to have gotten married in November the 16th, 2007. Eddie, we went, I paid money for everything, the place, everything. I paid the money for the dress. Eddie, we went to get the flower. Eddie sitting up there acting all stupid. The lady asking questions, Eddie was responding. So, they said, well, okay, let's go. So we went down to he was hungry. I done spent all this money for this dress and you were hungry, so he told me, well, I ain't got no money. I ain't finna get married or do nothing now.
Did you do that?
No.
Yes.
Woman had the dress on and everything, and your excuse for not marrying her is you were hungry.
Jeanette, I have produced where I have approved of us basically getting married.
Yeah, I got that. You brought it with you. I got it.
I've told Jeanette, let's go down and get married. She'll tell me to go on down there by myself. You know what I mean? Going on down to the courtroom by myself. So, that's why I produced that little marriage license to show you that I've put my name on the bottom line. So, I mean, and I asked her to marry me.
I told you to go on down there by yourself. That was after the fact.
So how many times have you guys set a date and not kept it?
This second time.
Okay.
And this was the second time on his birthday is because we was going in the wintertime, that's why I got a long dress. So after then, I guess Eddie do stuff to try to make up when the damage has been done.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's when he gonna go out down there.
I'm gonna do this just quickly. I want to go to the Before Your Vows test because basically it says what you've told me here, but you said something I just thought was deep. I asked you, is there something your intended should probably know before you marry them that they don't know about? And do you recall your answer?
No, ma'am.
I do. Yes. I have a hatred towards him for many years. What did you mean by that?
Because the way that Eddie what he's done to me, all the broken promises, the lying, the cheating, nothing concrete. I go out my way. I went to college. Eddie wasn't even there at my graduation. You inspire me. No, you don't inspire me.
Well, what does your daughter think?
My daughter think that I shouldn't marry Eddie.
Does she tell you why?
Yeah, she said, well, Mama, my daddy, he ain't gonna treat you good. My dad, you do all this here stuff. When you be at my practices, my cheerleading, you be at my school when I be having recitals, you be everything. You work 2 jobs, you go to college, you work
Jeanette,
a part-time job.
Me?
But what about, my daddy don't ever be there. He always talk about his friends.
That's not true, Jeanette.
Your response to that, Mr. Webb? Do you know whether or not your daughter does support your marriage to her mother?
Well, my daughter possibly is not on my side right now.
Now, why is she not on your side?
Maybe because I don't condone the situation that she's in right now.
You think it's solely because of her pregnancy?
My daughter has been able to ask me for anything, and I tried my best to provide it for her. You know what I mean? All through her years, if Jeanette would attest to the truth, if Jeanette would attest to the truth, Jeanette would know that I haven't been a person, and since Jeanette has been knowing me, to say no to anything if it's been within my powers.
When divorce court before your vows continues, can Edward give Jeanette everything Judge Lynn says that he ought to?
Getting married makes you feel good, but the marriage itself is supposed to envelop you, comfort you, make you feel strong, well, and protected.
Divorce Court Before Your Vows returns with the case of Jeanette Chanel and Edward Webb, who have come before Judge Lynn to see whether or not they should get married after sharing a daughter and a life for 21 years.
Here's where we are, and here's where we're going to be. Marriage is supposed to make you feel better.
Right.
Not getting married makes you feel good, but the marriage itself is supposed to envelop you, comfort you, make you feel strong, well, and protected. I don't think Mr. Webb can do that for you.
Okay.
I think that he's demonstrated that over 21 years that he's not going to do that for you. I think a lot of women hold on to the idea of, I need to get married, that it is the end result. It is the prize. Getting married, not the prize, if the relationship that you get into does not fulfill you and make you happy. You've said you can't live together more than 3 days without having a major blowout. Why would you want to solemnize that? Why would you want to make that? It doesn't make you any less. You didn't lose. You're not a spinster. We don't do that anymore. You're a strong woman with a young lady. You need to work with a little bit, but you've said you've gotten better. You said you've gone to school. That's enough. We always think, no matter what we do, if I didn't nail down the guy, I'm a little bit less than. That is not true. You are more than. And you just are.
Thank you, Your Honor, because he always makes me feel like I'm not. He always got to put me in this competitive way.
And I hear what you're saying, and I hear it from a lot of women. He points out what I don't do well, but he ignores everything I do well.
Right.
And you never feel quite good enough, and you're always feeling like you're running after his approval and affection. And that's what you don't need it. You've done well without it. You walk on and you stroll on, and if you stop looking at him, you might see somebody else. And somebody who's going to do right by you and not take 21 years to do and give you what you need. And if you never get, listen, I got a sister a year older than me. I'm the family failure. She's a brain doctor, never been married, and none of the guys she don't want it now. She's having more fun than I am on a daily basis. It's okay. It's okay. Don't look at it. Mr. Webb, you should have done better by her. You should have been an uplifting thing instead of something that she was chasing, flying in the wind and around with the other women. You should have been at home taking time with that daughter, not buying her the stuff that she wanted, but giving her what she needed in terms of time and attention, and filling up her empty hours and telling you what man she shouldn't be. Not a specific guy, but you should have started telling her when she's 8, this guy ain't no good, no guy is actually good for you ever. You don't need, you know what I mean? You tell that lie long enough until she believes it's true. So whoever it is, no, it's not fair to her. It's not fair to her at all. You get up, you go out there, and you do well. You are a successful woman to the extent that you achieve, and you are happy. And I hereby order you to believe you are successful, because, in fact, you are. This matter is adjourned.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
Jeanette says that Eddie has changed for the better, and they are communicating much better. Since leaving divorce court, Eddie has proposed yet again, but Jeanette is hesitant to accept because of the judge's advice. Further, Jeanette and Eddie still are not living under the same roof.